Hello friend, welcome to the video on a Pascal triangle. Now this Pascal triangle plays the very important role in unit number 3. Actually in a unit number 3 we need to solve a less number of problems, but there is a more importance are given to the theory. So that till lectures we studied what is mean by the linear strain and what is mean plane strain and the plane stress problems. Now we are coming on a Pascal triangle. Before that, when studying the Pascal triangle, we need to focus on the convergence requirement into the finite element analysis. Generally there is a one question on a convergence requirement in a finite element analysis. What is finite element analysis? In a finite element analysis we are using the numerical methods, and these numerical methods have not given the exact solution. Instead of that one are given a approximate solution. So whatever the approximate solution we have achieving by using a numerical methods, is it very close to the solution, exact solution or not, that one is to be recorded and that one is to be find out. And for that purpose the convergence requirement are required. So what is meant by the convergence? Convergence is a process in which we are approaching to a exact solution of the finite element analysis. So the convergence is a process in which the solution obtained by FEM, finite element method, approaches exact solution. Now this exact solution we are getting through the numerical methods, so whatever the solution we are getting through the numerical method, and whatever the solution we are getting finite through the finite element analysis, it one is approaching to 0, because we knows very well numerical methods are not given the exact solution. So convergence is a process. Now how to do the convergence? What are the convergence conditions are required? So that convergence conditions are: the first one, the displacement function. Now displacement function, in a second lecture we already studied, in a second unit we already studied what is meant by the displacement function. So displacement function should be continuous and differentiable within an element. So this is the first condition for the convergent condition. So the displacement function should be continuous and the differentiable within an element. This condition can be satisfied by using a polynomial function. So just to keep a displacement function continuous and differential, we need to use the polynomial function. Now what is meant by the polynomial function? That is u is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3x cube plus and so on. Now this is the very important concept of this is the very important issue to write the polynomial function. And this polynomial function we can write by using a Pascal triangle. So now what is this? This is the displacement function. By using a displacement function, by using this displacement function, we would be able to define the shape function. We would be able to define the shape function. We have already finding the some properties of the shape function in a unit number 2. So we are defining the shape function. Now shape function, to define this shape function we need to use this polynomial function. Now the second one, the second condition, the displacement polynomial function should include a constant term. This constant term, so this is the u a0 is given, this is the constant term is already available, so this constant term is required. Now what this constant term is saying? So this constant term to account for the rigid body displacement, and the term a0 accounts for this rigid body displacement. So a0 is available into this equation to manage or to consider the rigid body displacement. Second one, the displacement polynomial function should include the linear term which gives the constant strain term. The displacement polynomial function should include the linear term which gives the constant strain term, and that is a1x. Then the polynomial displacement polynomial function must satisfy the continuity condition across the inter-element boundaries at the nodes, and that continuity conditions are the C0 or C1. C0 or C1. These continuity conditions we explain later on. The displacement polynomial function should satisfy the geometric isotropy, and this geometric isotropy is also very important for the convergence of the your finite element solution. So this one here we are understanding the some concept, that further here we are understanding some issues of the geometric isotropy, then the continuity conditions. These are playing the very important role. So next we moved on a issue of this. These are the conditions for the polynomial this is the geometric isotropy, completeness requirement, inter-element compatibility, and the C0 C1 type of the continuity. So these all conditions we need to satisfy when we are defining the displacement polynomial function. And this one is helping to write the shape function. Before this defining these all terms, we need to move next on different types of the methods of the convergence. Again, many times there is a theory is asking what is the difference between the P, what is meant by the P refinement, what is meant by the H refinement, what is meant by the HP refinement, and what is meant by the R refinement. This is also called as the method of the mesh refinement. We already knowing that one, just whatever the continuous body, whenever we are getting the any body, we are dividing this body into a different types of the nodes. So initially this is the one node, this is the second node, this is third node, this is fourth node. Now here we also include the some additional node, so that we are reaching to a closer to my solution. So addition of a nodes into a problem gives the better solution. So which are that methods of a conversion? The first one is called as the H refinement. Now what is meant by this one? This is the original object. This is the nodes: node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5, node 6, node 7, node 8, node 9. So this is my original object. If I go for the H refinement, means I need to mesh or discretize my elements with a more number of nodes by using this one. So what? Here we are increasing the number of nodes. Here we are increasing the number of elements. Here, so in a H refinement we are increasing the number of elements. Here we are increasing the number of elements. How we are increasing the elements? By adding this two lines, two elements. One element is here, one element is here, and whatever the nodes available, so these are the nodes we draw here. So here we add the nodes, here we node the adds, here we add the nodes, here also we add the nodes. So see, this is the figure we achieved. So here we are increasing the number of nodes by increasing the number of elements, then that is called as the H refinement, then that is called as the EH refinement. So this is my EH refinement. Then if I am increasing only the nodes, I am not increasing the elements are constant. Now see, this diagram is the elements are constant, but we are increasing the nodes. Now see, here the number of nodes are increases, here the 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 nodes are increases. So ultimately my nodes are increasing. Because of this increment into the nodes, I am considering this is the conversion methods of the P refinement. So this is the P refinement, this is the H refinement. Another one, that is the HP refinement. Here what? That both the things are increasing, elements also increasing and number of nodes also increasing. So here that this is the element increases, this one is also the element increases, but at the same time they have also increasing the nodes in between this one. So this is called as the HP refinement. So increase into the number of elements as well as the nodes, that is called as the HP refinement. Last, that is the R refinement. convergent process. So here the elements are same one. Now if you look towards this number of elements, it's same one. So 1 2 3 4, these elements, they are rearranging. So this is the one element, we draw this one element, this is the another element, this is the third element, this is the fourth element. So this additional four elements, these four elements means element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, we are rearranging in such a way, then that is called as the R refinement. So rearrangement without considering the total number of elements or the DOF of the polynomial, means the elements are same, nodes also same, only the rearrangement is done, that is called as the R refinement. So these are the different types of the methods of the convergent technique, that is the H refinement, P refinement, HP refinement and the R refinement. So I hope you understand what is meant by the convergence. Convergence is a process where we are increasing exactness of a numerical method and reaching to a exact solution of a problem. Now the methods are H refinement, P refinement, HP refinement and the R refinement. H refinement, that H refinement, number of elements are increasing. P refinement, number of nodes increasing. HP requirement, nodes and elements both are required increasing, and in R refinement we are changing the position of the element, rearrangement without changing the number of elements or degree of freedom DOF of the polynomial, that is called as the R refinement. Now let us move on a Pascal triangle. This is very important. Now here we have already studied the displacement function. This displacement function we written here. This is the displacement function we are writing here. Now let us move on a Pascal triangle. What is the role of this one? So let us take, these are the two nodes. Now let us take, these are the bar element 1D problem, and there are the node 1 and node 2. So if I am interested to write down my displacement function, u is equal to that is a1 a0 plus a1x Now just to write this equation, what is the correct method or how many terms should be included, this is the question mark. So if the problem is 1D, now if there is a problem of 2D like this one, so if there is a CST triangle method is adapted, or if the problem is like this one, now there are the 4 nodes, but the problem is of the 2D, then how to write this displacement function? U is equal to what? How many terms should be included? That is the issue. To resolve all this one, we using a Pascal triangle. Now how to use the Pascal triangle? So let us take first of all what is meant by the Pascal triangle. In a Pascal triangle, the first of all we draw the triangles like this one. We are drawing the triangles like this one. This is the diagram of a Pascal triangle. Now here the first of all the constant term is written, then this is the x and y, that is the linear term, then x square, then xy plus y square, then that is the quadratic term, then the x cube, x square y, then x square xy square and the y cube, that is the cubic term, then the quadratic term. These are given into the Pascal triangle. Now if the problem is of the 1D, then number of terms is equal to n plus 1. So what is n? N is the total number of terms in the, so where n is the number of order. So what is that? If this is the 1D problem, now there are the two nodes. So what I need to write? I would write this one, there are the only two terms. M is equal to n plus 1. Now the n is the order. So order is my 1. order is 1, so there are the two terms. So order is 1, m is equal to n plus 1. While in a 2D problems, my number of terms is equal to n plus 1 plus n plus 2 divided by 2, where n is the number of order. So what is that order? That is 1, 2 or 3. Means we need to consider first of all the linear term is a order, or the quadratic term is a order, or the cubic term is the order. So if there are the two nodes, so this is the linear term, this is the linear term. So there are the two nodes, so ultimately three terms comes. So how to write this function? That is u is equal to, but this is the 1D problem, this is the 1D problem, so there are only two terms equal to, order is 1, so order is 1 linear term that's why n is equal to 1, not number of nodes, not number of nodes. So this is the order is 1, so terms is equal to n is equal to 1, so m is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2, that is equal to 2. So there are the two terms. So what is that? If I consider this is this line, so this line works as a 1D problem, this term works as a 1D problem. So first term is constant, that is a0, then a01x plus a02x square. So as my number of nodes are increasing, according to that I increase my order also changing, linear to another term I moved on that one, and accordingly my terms are changing. So I can write this is u is equal to, if there is the one order, then this formula is equal to a0 plus a1x, if there are the two, there is a quadratic terms are available, then then u is equal to, so n is equal to 1, so n is equal to 2, so 2 plus 1 3 terms. So there is the a1 a0 plus a1x plus a2x x square, a2x square, because this is the first term, this is the second term, and this one is the third term, because this is the problem of the 1D, and in a 1D we need to consider only this line. Now if there is the 2D problem, if this is the 2D problem, then u is equal to the formula is this one. So number of orders, this one 1 2 3, and accordingly we are calculate this one. Now take this one is the linear problem, so degree of the polynomial is 1, so that n is equal to 1, so 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 divided by 2 is equal to 3 terms. Now how to write this u is equal to, so first of all this is the u is equal to this term, that is a0, then this is the first term, that is the a1x, and then this is the second term, that is the a1 a2y, so this is the a2y. Similarly, if I want to write v1 vi is equal to, that is the b0 plus b1x plus b2y. If there is the, instead of linear, if the terms are increasing, then there are the 3 plus 3 6 terms are there. So I need to write this is the 6 term, so these 3 terms plus what is that, my a4 a sorry a3, then this term, then this term, that is the x square, okay, x square plus my a4 xy plus my a5 y square. So this is the use of a Pascal triangle. What the Pascal triangle help us? Just to Pascal triangle help us to find out how many terms should be included when we are writing the displacement function. or the displacement polynomial function. So if there is a 2D, then the formula is this way. How many terms should be included? If the problem is 3D, then this is the formula. If there is a 1D, then this is the formula, n plus 1 terms. That is the, if there are the two nodes, then the formula is like this one. So that time we use this line 1D. If there is the 2D, then this is the 2D. Similar triangle is also available for the 3D. Here I have not constructed the Pascal's triangle in the 3D parameters. That's why this is the 3D term. So hope you are understanding the Pascal triangle. Now we are going for the conditions for the first of all, the geometric isotropy, complement requirement, element compatibility, and C0. What does this mean? So let us move. The first of all, if the term used in the polynomial displacement function of the element is symmetric about the axis of a symmetry of a Pascal triangle, then it is called as the geometry. What does it mean? That just whenever we are writing the term, this is these terms, and this term and this term, means the x also included, y also included into the term, and this constant term is included, then that is called as the geometric isotropy. Means all the terms are considered from the triangle, then that is called as the geometric isotropy. If all the terms particular degree and the order of the polynomial are included in the polynomial displacement function, then it is a complete polynomial function. So sometimes there is a possibility that just the number of terms are less than that one. So this is only one term and this is only the two term. Then also it is called as the geometric isotropy. Then also this is called as the geometric isotropy. But the continuity, there is a need of all the terms to be included. So these three terms are included, then that is the continuity. Complete and means this is the complete one, and the isotropy, complete and isotropy, because that all terms are comes in picture. If there are the six terms, then I need to consider this x square, then the xy, and the y square. So when I consider all the six terms, then that is called as the complete and isotropy. But if I consider only these these three terms plus which one, that is the x square and y square, but not included this xy. So what is that? It one is when not included, then there is the geometric isotropy we achieved. Means what? This is the center point, and we have considered all these terms on these two lines, but we have not considered this third middle point. It means it one is achieving only the geometric isotropy, but not a complete one. When I included my this term also, when I'm included this term also, then that is called as the complete and isotropy. Complete and isotropy. So this is the meaning of the complete and isotropy. Then the continuity, the compatibility condition, the inner element of the compatibility element. Now what is that? So whenever we are finding the displacement of that point, if I have taken this node or this node, and if I am interested to find out the displacement of these nodes, then if I consider the element 1, and if I am finding the displacement at the node 3, it should be equal to, when I am considering the element 2 and calculating the displacement at point 3, it's constant, it's same, then that is called as the continuity, compatibility. Then that is called as the compatibility. It means that when 1 2 3 4 and its displacement function is calculating at a 3 or a 4 or on this element or on this element, and when I am considering the element 2 and considering this edge and finding the displacement, it must be the same, then and only then we are calling this one as the compatibility law. So this is the compatibility law. This is the compatibility law. Now the continuity law. So when the primary variable, means the displacement function, is continuous at the interface between the element, then that is at the nodes, then it is called as the continuity law. Means what? That is the primary variable, that is displacement or pressure, this one is included into a partial derivative or in our equation, then and only then this is called as the C0 continuity. If the primary variable and its derivative means that is the d or the p is also available, is continuous, at the same time the stresses or my strain also be continuous at the interface between the element, that is, and then it is known as the C1 continuity. Means what? This C0 continuity and C1 continuity is somewhat different. What is that C0 continuity? C0 continuity means that the primary variable, that is the displacement function, is continuous at the interface between the element, then it is called as the C0 continuity. While C1 continuity means when the primary variable, that is displacement function, and its derivative, that is the stress and strains, are continuous at the interface of between the elements, then it is known as the C1 continuity. So this is the C1 continuity. Now this is the last point but not least, types of the elements in 2D elements. So there is the first of all the constant strain triangle, then the linear strain triangle, then the linear strain rectangle, serendipity element, and the Lagrangian element. These are the important, these two are not that much important. Now you have seen this is the triangle, this is the plate, and in this one there is the simple triangles we have drawn. So the node is here, node is here, node is here. So if I select this factor, this element, then that is called as the constant strain triangle. Constant strain triangle. Then the linear strain triangle. So if I consider this is my constant strain triangle. This is my, if the nodes are available at the corners, then that is my constant strain triangle. But linear strain triangle, when I increase the number of nodes in between this one, linear nodes into this one, then that is called as the linear strain triangle. That is the complex one. Then the linear strain triangle means rectangle, means this is my rectangle, and from this rectangle I am choosing this much part, this is the part, then that is my rectangle. So this is my linear rectangle, strain rectangle. So rectangle with a corner end nodes, that is called as a linear strain triangle, sorry, linear strain rectangle. While 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 serendipity elements are rectangle with a more number of nodes, then that is called as the serendipity elements. As well as the Lagrangian elements, when the nodes are not on the element but at the inner point also we have taken the element, at the inner point also taken the element, then that is called as the Lagrangian elements. Okay, so these are the different types of the elements in the 2D element. Apart from this one, the very important are constant, this one, then the your rectangle is important, serendipity also important, and the Lagrangian elements are important. So constant strain triangle is this one, the nodes at the corner, then linear strain rectangle, so it looks a rectangle with the nodes at the corners, then the serendipity, that is the nodes on a element. So this is my serendipity and this is my Lagrangian elements. So I hope you are also understanding the different types of the elements into a 2D. This video is very important from the theory point of view. You definitely earn through this video minimum 4 to 8 marks on this chapter. Thank you to all.